Prostitute story. You guys ready? Are you ready for this? Bondage? I'm in.
I should be able to hire my own tweaker to beat up another tweaker.
Gets high fives from the boys.
It's the stupidest thing I ever heard of.
Good morning with the boys.
Good
Cheers.
morning. Here we go. Monday fresh. Back at it. Hit the
Monday morning. Heck yeah.
Got up. Son dropped off at school. Was out working late crazy last night because I got to have an extra side gig to keep the funds coming in. Out there hitting the streets. First delivery. Guess where it was at?
Where? The Heights?
Took me straight to the strip club.
No way.
I don't know how I feel about that. What do you think if your stripper has had Taco Bell before they're hitting a dance?
I really hope it was the bartender.
No, she was handing it off to somebody else. And I wasn't sure how I felt about it. I was like, if I'm one of those gentlemen getting a little toot on me later on because
Dude. Hey, man.
People got it, but I get it.
People got to eat.
They do got to eat. I cannot.
And if your main diet is Taco Bell, then you usually handle it pretty well, and I think your body's adjusted to it, and so maybe she can just keep it in, dude.
I really don't know. At the end of the day, I mean, this is what for the viewers. You guys hit us back.
Anybody ever been to the strip club and got tooted on? Because don't frequent a strip club enough to have anything like that happen.
Seriously.
I do have one crazy strip club story though, pretty funny.
You have a strip club story.
Yeah. Before we get into what we're really going to dive into today, which
we're trying to keep it light and heavy
before we go into the darker side of things, really.
Go all up into Curtis's conspiracy corner.
But yeah, I'm in Alaska, and me and my buddy Josh just decided to go to the bar. Didn't even know the strippers were there. We walk in, and then the guy's like, "Oh yeah, if you're sitting up front, you have to throw ones." And we're like, "What? Throw ones?" He's like, "Yeah, the Russian strippers are here." Because we're in Alaska, and we're like, "Oh shoot, all right, shoot, yeah, let's go check it out." So me and him both go sit up there and start throwing some ones, and she comes up to me, hooks her bra around me, and then unhooks it and like backs up, you know? It's like, oh, cool, yeah, this is all having fun. Then she takes her panties off and aims them at my buddy Josh and slingshots him. And I look over and I just see him get hit right in the face with a pair of panties. And this is his face. So I was like, me and him just make eye contact. We're out of here. I fucking take the bra off, set it down. I was like, that was fucking gross.
That's different.
Right to the face, dude. Just headshotted, just, and then the look of disgust in his face, and I was just like, "Yeah, we're out of here." Oh.
I guess it's not terrible if they're dry, but yeah, if those suckers got a little bit of moisture on them, and they actually hit you with like a wet towel feeling.
Well, dude, not only that, but she had aim, bro. She's done that before.
Well, of course, I bet she does
right between the eyes, dude. Right
life.
Between the eyes, bro. Just took him out.
How many times do you think she does 3 dances a day? She's back doing 3 times a day.
You do get a lot of practice in, I guess.
She might be a better sniper than these guys trying to take Trump out. You can call that Russian misinformation if you want to.
Come on, guys. Like, where are you getting your people? I know strippers that can make that shot.
Easily, 150 yards. You should have seen it.
You should have seen it, 150 yards. with some panties. Jeez. That's crazy.
Yeah, between that and now we got a second moon we're going to be having for the next few months.
That's crazy. That's interesting. There's so many, of course, conspiracy theorists are going wild about that.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem to like really freak anybody out at all. We're gonna have an extra moon. I have not once in my lifetime had an extra moon. So why are we so chill about extra moons?
Your news feed is different than mine, because mine is not, oh, it's fine, we're gonna be cool. Mine's like, what the hell's going on? It's an alien spaceship. Oh, how are we going to handle another moon? What's going to happen to the tides?
That's really your feed.
Oh, dude, yeah, it's crazy.
That is one thing. As come to like researching, especially now, it's so hard to research anything because anything you look up, you can find both sides of it. Compelling evidence for both of them.
Yeah, there's a fact check, which is now we're gonna start here. I'm really scared of Google. My Google searches, dude.
You got Curtis over here. He's tired of Google.
I can't remember. I should probably look this guy's name up. I'm going to, but he was on Joe Rogan. He talked about how Google is definitely curating your search results, which is insane. And then we were looking up stuff today, same website, 2 different items that we were looking up, and it was a fact check saying, oh no, that's definitely not what's happening. And it was the first Google search that popped up for TJ and for me was some website that was a fact check saying, nah, what you're looking up is wrong. So I think they're in cahoots.
And I have no idea at the end of the day. These are giant corporations that have so many employees, and who's in charge of it at the very
right? Someone, but Robert Epstein was the gentleman on Joe Rogan.
To Jeffrey?
No, I would hope not.
He's trying to clear the name. He's like, I'm the good Epstein, please.
But yeah, he goes crazy into saying, and now I'm starting to see it, right? Especially like I said, with that same website that fact checked 2 conspiracy type things that we're looking up. So you can never know.
I don't know, but I needed at least 5 or 6 more coffees from City Brew for having this conversation.
Yeah, if we're going all in today, guys.
Help a brother out.
I did I don't know if you noticed, but one of the clips I clipped, you were taking a drink just like that, and I did the zoom in on you. So if we get and do another one here today, and we get a couple of those, I'm like, yo, just clip together you just always sucking on a City Brew coffee and go up to him and be like,
how about the less we have me just randomly sucking on things, the better, because that never clips well.
Now you're asking for it.
Of course, but
now we need some ASR.
The trolls will be trolls.
When you get to the end, we need that sound, and we'll just put that sound with every single sip.
You should do a favor, like, since you had your phone out, you should do the share and all that stuff before
Heck yeah. Absolutely, before we dive into the deep stuff, dude.
I can go ahead and talk about getting coffee this morning.
Yeah, how'd that go? I liked your live, but I didn't watch it.
That makes sense. I don't think too many people do.
It doesn't pop up that you're live. It pops up when you're done and says, Ben went live. And I'm like, that's the stupidest thing ever. Like, so why do you tell me when he's done? That's the only time it pops up for me.
Because they don't want you to see the truth. Even they're hiding the truth from
Facebook's curating, dude. That's why our reels aren't doing good on Facebook.
So tune into my lives in the morning on Facebook. Check out the coffees in the morning. But another thing that I experienced this morning was driving through the coffee lane, and the great baristas that they have over there, always amazing. The guy was wearing a wife beater. I don't know how I feel about my male barista wearing a wife beater while making my coffee.
You could see the armpit hair? Was it a legit wife beater or a tank top? The wife beater to me is the one that has like the ridges in it, Like that's a legit, it's not just a tank top, but it's an actual, I guess ridges is the best way to describe it.
I suppose a wife beater is like an undershirt versus a tank top. I guess I see what you're saying. This was a white tank top, but it would be the hipster wife beater, if anything.
Okay.
But either way,
hippies wife beater.
I don't know how I feel about it. There's too many things can go wrong when there's that much arm out.
Too much sweat.
There's too many possibilities can go wrong.
By the way, we got our first comment live. We got our first live comment ever. What up, Easy? Thanks for being here.
We gotta appreciate the shout out. He let us know we got some stuff happening out there in space.
Some SpaceX news. I wonder, so apparently SpaceX did their first spacewalk. Do you think that has any correlation to do with the new moon that's coming?
That's a great question. Yeah, let's get back to them.
You think he's trying to get trying to make sure he can get people up in space in case that is a alien spaceship that's coming to visit us for 2 months.
Or he needs to harness something off of it. You got to get on.
Oh, asteroid mining. Dude, actually, that would be the best time to mine an asteroid. We got 2 weeks, baby. Get your drills up there. Let's get some space rock, and then we'll come back here. We'll make some really cool swords.
Is that a thing that may be pretty dope? What else? I mean, you're not really getting a ton off those space rocks. Just a lot of carbon.
It depends, right? Because I know a lot of the asteroids out. I guess I don't know
deep reaches of space. Maybe there could be some alien life form on top of this thing.
There is definitely materials that we've gotten from like asteroids and stuff that's different metals than we have here on Earth. Like, have you heard about the knife from the Egyptian pharaoh that was like, it's like a meteorite or a moon rock or something? It's some rock from outer space that was carved into a knife.
Outer space?
From outer space.
Outer space. Not even outer space.
Yeah, no, it's outer space, man. I came from outer space.
It's just like when you get into an elevator, there's a lot of people.
Outer space. Man, we out of space right here.
Out of space in here. Somebody shut that. So,
what's going to happen? Apparently, the moon's only the size of a bus. The asteroid that's going to be a mini moon is only the size of a bus, so it's not big enough to cause any type of.
But what if it actually got into their atmosphere and started getting pulled towards the?
They say it's small enough that it will blow up in the atmosphere, and it'd be like if we launched a nuke into the atmosphere. So it would be detrimental depending on where it landed, but not like
detrimental.
Is that what I meant? Yeah. What's detrimental?
You got all sort of rocket appliances happening today.
Words today. It's Monday. They know good.
I'm gonna write that one down.
Make it. It's a new word.
Word of the day. Fancy word of the
T-shirt. Detrimental T-shirt.
I was trying to figure out a way to use that like out of space, but detrimental's a little hard.
That's what I should do with the giant sloth bear. Just put out of space below it.
Or just put you know what I mean, your misspelled words
all over one shirt.
Or just put it on a T-shirt on the back, detrimental.
Yeah, like, dude.
What the hell was detrimental? I don't know.
I own it, dude. That's what I do.
It does sound like a band name.
I fuck up things and then I just own it.
That's why you got to.
But yeah, apparently, so if that thing did come down, it would blow up before it hit the Earth. And it would cause if it blew up right over New York, maybe there'd be some damage or something. But it sounds like it wouldn't be too bad if it came down.
Say if it doesn't break apart, a bus comes flying down from the atmosphere. What does that do? Really nothing still?
If a bus-sized meteor hit the ground being bus-sized, it would probably do a pretty good chunk of work. But they won't make it because it'll burn up in the atmosphere and lose a lot there.
That's always so fascinating. As hard as we lean into science, you know what I mean, when it comes to explaining everything, but then are the first to be like, no, science is wrong. Religion is right.
Science is, I would definitely go with like science can be tested at least, but
spirituality is really hard to test unless you've been close to having your life taken. Everybody find God then.
What if that thing hits the moon though? That's what I was been wondering.
I actually read a book. I didn't read anything. I'm lying. I listened to a book.
You audiobooked it, dude.
And it was 100% that, almost verbatim. It was something crashes into the moon, and then we have so many years after that before the gravitational pull gets pulled off, and then we no longer can sustain life on. So it becomes, we have to get our most brightest and best children to take them into space, and everybody else will be left behind.
Dang.
So you have to just enjoy the last 7 years of your life until it's over before it becomes too
unbearable.
Yeah, but you just can't lie. There won't be no oxygen.
Isn't the moon, can you look this up, DJ? Is the moon moving away very slowly? Because what if that thing hits the moon and that just increases it speeds up how fast the moon is leaving the Earth? Let's see if I'm even right. Yes. Okay, there is a definite yes over there. It's moving away from the Earth about 1.5 inches a year. So it's pretty minimal.
You think if a bus hit the moon, it could possibly move it a little bit farther than...
Well, dude, if you're thinking about you've got some things just flying around in nothingness, only being held in by the gravitational force, all it takes is one little bump to get that thing spinning a different direction.
Yeah, if you look at the world like a
gyroscope or a gyroscope, you're spinning this one this way and you hit that pool ball, it's going to now kind of, with English, move a little bit away. Maybe that's what's going to happen.
These fancy pool terms over here. Throw a little English on it.
I was never good at putting English on it.
Me either.
So
I'm pretty good at knocking the ball off.
Yeah.
Let me try to put some English on this thing, and there goes the ball.
And that's a scratch. It's on the floor.
Or there's a hole in the turf.
Yeah. I'm surprised we never put a hole in my dad's.
Your dad would have fucking murdered us.
Yeah.
There was do's and don'ts, and that was one of them.
Don't fuck up my pool table.
That's funny. Like, as somebody who just was always in your house, constantly up in there all the time, there I knew the do's and don'ts.
Yeah. Put my dad's tools back wherever you found them. Yeah.
I wouldn't do it at my own house, but at your dad's house, obviously.
So yeah, maybe Elon knows something we don't. Maybe he's going to try it. Because if we did 2 weeks to mine, it's not even enough time. 2 weeks.
Well, literally, at the end of the day, there's a hell of a lot out there that I have no idea. And the connections that you can make. You know what I mean?
Dude.
We just, during this deep dive, and we're not even going to get
20
into
minutes. It was like 20 minutes of a deep dive too. Sorry.
But we're not going to get into the quite yet. But we looked into Avicii was hanging out with the royal family of Oman. And I'm like, I've never even heard of Oman. So we were like, where's Oman? It turns out Oman is right next to Saudi Arabia, which is right next to the United Arab Emirates.
Yeah, and that's where he died, or where he allegedly committed suicide.
We're not getting into it yet. Patience,
with the royal family.
That's where you're like, okay. And then you're like, who is the Oman royal family? And then it takes you to the House of Busaid, which is like one of the oldest families, Arabic families, royal families of all time.
Yeah, what was he doing over there?
But then also, like, I never heard of him. You know, nobody in America has ever heard of. Well, maybe there's a few Americans here, but I have.
I mean, I'm guessing
Oman, B, House of Busaid.
I would say if you were a military person who went overseas, you might know about Oman because they would have kind of been right over there with all the Afghani stuff that they've been doing.
Have we ever had beef with Oman?
I've never heard. No, I don't. Yeah, I've never heard.
We've
anything.
Always been chill with Oman.
That's the weirdest thing. Like, how does one even go about knowing the royal family of Oman?
And then, like, we can just a little bit of it. Avicii was over there looking for new artists. New
collaborations.
This is just a broad topic. When I think of the best pop stars in the world, I don't think Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
I might be pretty biased about that, but it's like,
dude,
why would he?
I just put something together, bro.
Oh no.
Can I do it? Can I say it? Avicii was the last one to commit suicide, and he was the only one to do it outside of the States. What if he was trying to be there because he was trying to get protected?
Oh, little John Wick situation.
Go overseas to the royal family where they've got really good security, and you're hoping.
What did you say America was? America was the
audiobook. The America is the true old world.
True old world.
Which I will say this real quick. It was the absolute worst audiobook to listen to. Because he has a bunch of pictures in that book and he has all the links to all these websites where he got this information and all this stuff. So half of the time she's just like HTTP blah, 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 and as you can tell, it's AI audiobook. So sometimes 100%. She just gets all confused and is like, but she's trying to
still, but how many times can you hear HTTPS?
Yeah.
Semicolon /
It was. I want to buy the book now because with all the pictures that she was explaining, wow. And I shouldn't say she. That's just the audiobook reader was a she. But yeah, that was so much information, dude, that I couldn't even really dive into. Did you know the oldest mummy in the world was found in a cave in Nevada? 10,000-year-old mummy was found in the cave of Nevada.
And that's the one thing. I'm like, carbon dating. Who did the carbon dating? We sure that
I did take a picture of it because
super factual.
10,000-year-old spirit cave mummy. You can look it up yourself. I did the same thing. I had to fact check it. I typed in spirit cave mummy, and they have recently done a reimagination of his facial features due to with his skull.
Is it coincidence that he looks like what's his name from Star Trek / Professor X /
Vin Diesel, an old Vin Diesel? No, not quite. But
like, he does look like that guy. What is his name?
They said
who is Charles Xavier? What is that actor's name?
I think they said it was of native ascent, like Native American.
Okay, but hold on. When you see Charles Xavier next to this, you're gonna be
yeah. You're talking about
X-Men.
Professor X. Yeah.
Look at her.
100%. I could. Yeah, it definitely does look pretty similar to Professor X. It's
Professor
hilarious.
X.
But yeah, so this audiobook was so much information,
Charles
dude.
Xavier.
I literally could not retain it all. I had to pinpoint a couple of things. Like I showed you that audio clip this morning of a quote from George Washington saying, if we make the natives take off their turbans and their sandals, and we as a collective agree to not teach them who they really are, in 200 years they will not know who their lineage came from.
That's pretty well documented.
Yeah,
I think that goes for everybody once you get past even just a couple generations.
The fact that that our first president quoted that, saying that about the Native Americans, and why do you think they first called them Indians?
And then, is there a possibility that was taken out of context? Maybe
100%,
that's
dude.
Russian misinformation from 1776.
Dude, who knows what to that will be our disclaimer before we get too far into this, guys. We don't know. We're talking out our ass. We're looking stuff up on Google. You can't trust Google. We're looking stuff up on Facebook Reels is showing me a bunch of conspiracy shit. So all of what we're saying is fake. None of what we're saying is fake. It's just a big what if at this point.
Just keep digging. Just keep looking at the end of the day.
Good old Dory. Just keep digging. But then I end up, unalived because I dug too much.
I
don't got a royal family I can go hide out with.
But that part doesn't even make sense. It's like he was over there hanging out,
and then they still got him. He thought he was somewhere where he would be safe.
Or
they still got him.
People, you know what I mean?
Or they got paid enough money to take him out.
Did you see the latest videos when it came to Cassie and the diddler?
Yeah, dude. Talk about, since we mentioned Epstein a little bit, she's comparing him to the Epstein of the music industry. That's crazy.
And the amount of people that everybody can just go to when they need their problem solved.
Like this Muhammad guy that they mentioned in that video. Apparently he's the problem solver. So this guy.
But we've always, you always have had that.
Yeah, mobster days. Yep.
Yeah,
100%.
And a lot of these guys are directly, established off of the mafia and the way it's ran. You have the guy who's in charge of everything. Then you have a bunch of guys underneath that guy and a bunch of guys underneath that guy. That's
what I think the music industry is, with kind of like what we've been. It's the craziest what we looked into.
Except you had a brilliant thought on it. It's not ever taking out the top dog. You're just clearing away the bottom of the
bottom of the barrel. Epstein, he had done something where they're like, okay, he's got to go. The public needs to see somebody go. We're taking our lowest totem pole guy. There goes Epstein. And now here we go 5 years later, everyone's up in arms again. He's like, all right, someone's got to go. Lowest totem pole guy. That's Diddy.
Well, like, who is, who's teaching these guys from when they're itty bitty?
Right? Or like this like Muhammad guy.
Why even look at somebody like a Trump's grandpa? You know what I mean? You're like, well, this is the way you do things. Obviously, people are always going to want to see boobs.
Right.
Everybody's always going to want to see it. So why not capitalize on it?
And then that's what he taught his son. And his son thought, oh, New York, I'm going to build half of the buildings in New York. So therefore, all these people that are living here are paying me for their rent and whatever. And
it's really like, everybody lies. I am a big proprietor saying that 90% of the world lies. Yet like a few select individuals, despite the backlash, despite all the heinous things that get said about them, actually are, as closest to a god as you can be.
Well, they're saying this freaking Muhammad guy went to college for business
and marketing
and real estate. And then a year later, he was the head of security for Michael Jackson. At 21 years old, he was the head of security. He was the first one on scene when Michael Jackson died.
It also doesn't make any sense.
And he also has a lot of relation with Diddy.
Why is that going to be that guy going to be security?
Yeah, he went to school.
He has no business protecting anybody.
He's 21 years old and he went to college to be a real estate mogul.
Yeah, so what, you're going to be real estate?
Sounds like he was groomed into that position. With him being the first one there when Michael Jackson died too, that's sus. And then he became the guy that you call when you get in trouble with the police. And apparently he was the one who got Diddy out of the shot at his shots fired at his studio. Was this Muhammad guy? Because he's got connections with the law enforcement or some shit. This is all, yet again, from videos we've seen. Who knows? Doctored or not, it's a good what if.
But between
cool story.
Now you have like the new video of Cassie in the recording studio where she sounds like she's saying help. You have Justin Bieber getting introduced to Ciroc and Diddy Juice, and that, it's a really. It looks like a bad video, like Bieber's coming up after he just getting slobbing on somebody's knob.
Oh, I think I did see that video too,
Then he, his eyes look like they're just bugging out of his head type of deal. And
there was I saw another one about Rihanna.
On that Diddy Juice.
She was told to sign, when she signed her deal with Diddy's record company, she said, you can walk out of this store with a signed contract, or you can leave out the window, and we're on the 29th floor.
Oh, wow.
And that's how she got her to sign the contract. And that was from the video I watched, was her saying that to a reporter.
That was Rihanna?
Yeah, I think it was Rihanna. I could be wrong there. But yeah, we'll have to. Yeah. Because that was crazy.
Because Rihanna is also the ambassador to Barbados. Shout out Pisces. Rihanna doing big things. Rolling bees on her security's head. Probably one of my favorite pictures of all times.
Oh, yeah. Rihanna reveals Jay-Z forced her to sign. Sean Diddy Combs' confession.
They said if you believe in all the conspiracy, they said he's next.
Jay-Z, dude, that's another thing.
They said Diddy's going down. The next thing you know is Jay-Z.
Oh, what is this chick's name? I sent this one to you as well, because she's just she's going off on people, dude. She's she's going crazy. Maybe I didn't send that one to you. Maybe I just saved it. But yeah, she's sitting there and she's throwing a bunch of people under the bus, like even Jennifer Lopez when she was with Diddy. Because she dated Diddy for a while back in the day. So she's throwing her under the bus, dude. It's pretty crazy how all these people are getting thrown under the bus. I'm just like, damn, dude.
The list does really go on and on.
Yeah. And who knows? Like I said, though, I think something else is going on. Whether the Supreme Court's trying to pass a law to do something fishy, I think they are distracting us with all this Diddy nonsense so that they can get some law.
This would be the second time it's resurfaced with Bieber being tossed around, though, because you had this one with Diddy, and then remember Pizzagate?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was a big involving one. Epstein and Hillary.
What's this chick's name? I can't remember her name.
I don't know, but she's...
Oh, Jaguar Wright? Yeah, Jaguar Wright is... She's listing...
She also said that Lil Wayne got raped by Birdman. So I don't know how much.
Yeah, I've heard. I think she's even been trying. She's even been trying to. What was it with not Cat Williams, with the other guy? That was.
I know you're talking about that.
Why can't I think of who was going crazy and everyone was making him seem like Chris Brown? Is it not? No, not Chris Brown. Not Chris Brown.
I'd make Cat Williams out to be crazy.
Yeah, everyone's been trying to do that for a while, but no, it's the other guy. Fucking. Wow, why can't I think of his name? He's the one who's been saying all the wild shit lately. He used to be a music guy. God, that's gonna blow.
I was gonna say, I'm sure it's not Chris Brown, because
no, it's definitely not. It's definitely not.
Chris Brown been going hard in the paint.
The guy from Raven.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Not Omarion. It's the guy from look up That's So Raven. One of the actors from that show, the child show.
Yeah. I can't remember his name.
Because he was another one who said he got tossed around.
Yeah, he's saying some wild stuff. Orlando Brown. That's why I thought Brown. Okay, Orlando Brown is saying
some. But then he also was in jail.
Wild stuff. Yeah.
Like they have him in a mugshot as well. So it's like, okay, so he's getting picked up on something, and then how much is he turning and lying to save his own ass? Right?
Yeah, dude. Crazy. And then that gets along the lines, I mean, because that kind of started, then we started talking about the music, your rights, all the rights to your music, and how that might even be a little bit of an issue.
There's just so many of these, like you look at like the House of Busaid, which you're like, okay, that's weird. They just have like this royal family. Like all these other places have royal families. And then you have hidden groups like the Illuminati, the Freemasons. You have Nipsey was, you have like,
and
Nipsey didn't apparently die. He's just reborn. And it's
that's what she was saying.
It's and how do you have any type of discernment? Because like I said, there's always money to be gained.
And you mentioned it to me. You're like, we were watching that little, like the funeral. It was a stadium full of people for a funeral. And you're like, dude, it looks like it's the American royal family. And as soon as you said that, I was like, holy shit, you're right.
Oh, yeah.
And that's they're all Freemasons, which is the Illuminati, if you want to call them that, but they're Freemasons. You know what I mean?
I don't know how you wrap around. And then you also looked, it's kind of funny if you looked at Ludacris, he's back onto the hood. He was like, Cat Williams, you ain't gonna say I can't do cornrows. I'm calling my cornrows.
Did he? Okay.
He's but he also did that song, "The Grass Is Always Greener," where he literally has a whole song about that. It's like you do it one way and then they hate you, and then you do it this way and then they hate you. And you do it this way. And I mean, so many people spend their entire artistic career being that way or trying to constantly reinvent themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And that becomes a whole game in itself, is trying to reinvent yourself so you can make the most shock and awe that people pay attention to you for as long as possible.
And that, dude, that's exactly what
we could probably
that's exactly what they did with the American country. Those guys came over here and they're just like, we can do it bigger and better ourselves. We're bringing the Freemasons over here.
Just off of EJ popping in and saying aliens don't exist.
Right?
DMT dreams. Jeez Louise.
Dude, well, I mean, I could see that because, DMT is something that's naturally released in your body. I could see your dreams being a DMT trip.
It's like, it becomes like, I'm like an information overload. I'm like, none of it even makes any sense.
That was me last night listening to that This Country Is the Old World. It was just so much information that I really couldn't take it in.
And then you're showing me pictures this morning. You got Kamala Harris
standing next to Epstein. Yeah.
Epstein.
And then we had to go into, was that AI doctored? And now that, as soon as you mentioned that, I think I remember seeing him, that picture of him, and he was standing next to someone else. So I bet you it was doctored.
I literally have no idea at the end of the day.
I definitely saw some AI doctored ones. That was Kamala Harris as a fucking, like a hooker dressed in like provocative outfit. And like, it was definitely doctored, but it was just so if you want to know where she got her start. Because that's a theory too, is that she was just a high class call girl back in the day for all these politicians. And that's how she got her start into the political world.
That would be somebody really
yet again another what if
influenced and controlled by the media. If she was exactly that, she's never gonna want to give up her stardom.
Right? She's like, man, I was living on the streets before this, and now they've made me a political.
I just fall out of the coconut tree?
Acting like you just fell out of the coconut tree. Apparently, there's also a clip of her saying, "We better not wish any Merry Christmas" or something like. And then the next clip was her going, "Merry Christmas." It's like clipped them together. Like, that's funny.
That was another one. You're not allowed to say Merry Christmas. You're supposed to say Happy Holidays.
Happy Holidays, yeah, because
Happy Holidays is retarded, but the song is kind of catchy.
But you don't want to offend anybody who doesn't celebrate Christmas.
It's so funny. In small Montana, we were very progressive. We were celebrating Kwanzaa.
Who?
Elder Grove.
We did?
We had songs that were all about like, just wait, maybe it got a little less progressive after you guys, became very, no, we ain't letting that happen. Yeah. But back in my day, they had songs like, it was like, we had a Kwanzaa song. We had like the Passover song.
My dad must have attended one PTA meeting. You stop playing this goddamn not American Christmas songs. My son's over there singing Feliz Navidad. God damn it. Just kidding. My dad would not be like that. That's not my dad.
That's so damn funny. DJ.
I'm sure someone's dad did though.
Can I bother you for some refresh?
For some swill?
Yeah,
some swill. That's what they used to call it back in the day. Oh man, got you good, dude.
We almost thought he was gonna go the wrong direction.
I thought he was gonna.
That was 9-7 until the ending.
Oh,
almost a solid 10. It was almost a.
Oh, he pulled his back. That's why it was his 9.7. Got a bad back. The doctor says I need a backiotomy. I'll take a refill. He doesn't even have a cup yet.
I didn't. I left it over there because I've made it easier for DJ.
After you asked me what's the importance of a musician's like whole catalog, I'll have to do a little bit more research into that because
I just don't understand. Like,
it's worth a lot.
Obviously, gain to
the royalties.
But when you look at the overall amount of money that they have compared to the guys who have the real money, why kill artists?
Because they won't. It's all a money power thing. Like I said.
Or is it that artists have the ability to control the narrative?
And they don't. That's probably a little bit of both. They want the money and the control for those music rights. So we didn't know this.
Which is hilarious because if you listen to a Kendrick Lamar lyric, it's money, pow. Money and the pow.
So Tom Petty, his music rights got sold to Warner WCM, but 6 months after he passed, and it was due to his estate. Michael Jackson, same thing. 6 years later, his Sony bought his records, and I know Michael Jackson was holding out on his records. I know that. And there's been multiple artists that won't sell their records.
Well, that, and you have like Prince, who actively put out 2 garbage albums just so he could get out of contract because they wouldn't release him.
And he was another one that wouldn't sell his stuff.
I believe he was one that was part of the Illuminati. They said that he was part of Illuminati. Is that not?
Was he? Was Tom? Not Tom Petty.
I've never heard Tom Petty. But
you said Prince,
or the artist formerly known as Prince.
Prince Freemasonry. Let's see what Google says. Let's see if Google curates this to that same fact checking. Prince Hall. No, we'll have to do the artist formerly known as Prince.
but then even at the end, I'm pretty sure he just had a symbol that was his. That's a wild one. He really took the whole world by storm in the wildest forms of fashion ever.
Okay, so AI Overview says there's no information whether Prince was a Freemason, but there's some information about the musician who changed his name to a symbol.
Yeah.
Was it a Freemasonic symbol that he chose?
Your guess is as good as mine.
With an accidental
And then you have the idea that
he died in 2016?
Mm-hmm.
Guess what it was? A fentanyl overdose.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. The same as the Tom Petty incident.
And then
you have
Michael Jackson was overdosed, but they say it was his doctor that overdosed him.
And he was getting horse tranquilizer.
Well, hold on. Was it horse tranquilizer? Oh, wait. Ketamine?
Was it? No, I don't think. Maybe it was ketamine.
Because ketamine is a recreational drug that people just use for fun.
Whatever they were given, it was so he would sleep for a long time.
Weird. But then that brings us to the mysterious suicides of all 4 guys that were supposedly working on a sex trafficking video, which was one of those was Avicii.
That's the weirdest part, because you have music and music.
Chester Bennington, which he was Linkin Park's. Chris Cornell we found out it was Soundgarden. And then the other guy,
Petty, obviously singer.
The other guy that was in that list
Avicii,
was another guy.
Nipsey Hussle, artist.
Yeah. But the music industry is tainted with a lot of mysterious deaths, bro.
But when you think about music in general, it is the place where people usually go to talk about drugs and alcohol and all the things. Listen to 10 seconds of a rap song.
Right. Yeah. Well, dude, since we're here, I saw a video a video of some people talking that there was a high-level meeting in the music industry that said, your investors just purchased a bunch of private prisons, so we now need you guys to change your music to promote gang violence. And some of those people spoke up and walked out and got kicked out.
That was Cam Patterson's immediate kill Tony. Gang violence. That was his sign off every single time.
And he kind of came out of nowhere too.
That's your boy.
Dang, was Cam Newton groomed?
Cam Newton.
Sorry.
The ex-quarterback from the Carolina Panthers?
Yeah, apparently he was groomed. No, Cam Patterson was groomed into being...
Well, actually, if we're going back to grooming, I guarantee you Cam Newton is very well groomed. You see, he dresses like Johnny Depp.
Touche. Good. Nice. That was punny.
Oh, so punny. It doesn't make... I'm trying to wrap my head around why people kill music. Is music in itself that powerful? We used to have men who would give speeches, and those are the men who would be assassinated. Women who would speak up, those people get assassinated. Singing is the closest thing to being able to...
They're idols, dude. Did you see the video of Tupac saying how he think it's ridiculous how some people are living in mansions and other people are living on the streets, but also, with no money? And
I say that same thing. I'm like, how can you complain about the problem and then not change the problem in itself? And then you have guys like Elon. It's like we give everybody money. That doesn't mean anybody's responsible with it, and they're just gonna... And if there was anything that we learned from the social study of COVID, not everybody's going to be innovative. Most people are going to sit on their asses with their thumb up their butts waiting for the government literally to hand them a check.
That's the problem that we're running into. Nobody's asking the questions that we're asking right now. Why did 3 of these guys die by hanging in the United States, and then the 4th guy...
who the hell is so good at tying nooses?
Right? They never taught me that.
If
you're going to Google that real quick?
YouTube and somebody hits up nooses.
Yeah.
Why is that not getting flagged?
And why is somebody not being...
Who's making a
going
noose?
to knock on their door? Which one was the guy that said the cameras didn't pick anybody up? They said, oh yeah, he hung himself. Avicii was the one?
Yeah, and that's why he was over with the House of Busaid.
But guess what? The other
royal family.
Those other 4 guys allegedly making that video were all hanged, and they were in the United States. Avicii's over being protected by the royal family, and he apparently does suicide by a broken wine bottle that he used to cut himself.
If there's anybody out there and you have even the slightest like autoeroticism type of situation, reach out to us, because I really don't understand. Are you saying Robin Williams? Same deal. Hanging. You know, so like all these people are so good at hanging themselves.
Paul Walker, apparently there was there was a theory that he was gonna, same thing. This is on that one video that showed a big list of celebrities and what they were actually doing at the time. He was trying to expose the Clinton Foundation for some shit. And you know how easy it is for them to just freaking
all we had was
get into his car and turn. Yeah. But imagine you program his car to do 110 miles an hour where he can't stop. He's going to lose control and crash eventually. There's a theory about that with someone else too, because they can do that. Tesla can turn your car off,
but he wasn't driving a Tesla.
No, he wasn't.
No.
But it was a new enough car to have fully electronic throttle and steering and all that stuff. So no longer classic power steering stuff.
We're heavily in the conspiracy corner.
We dug ourselves into the conspiracy corner now.
I didn't even want to be in this corner. I know.
This is not your avenue.
I was like, man, it is Monday. I really don't want anything to do with today. I just want to crawl back into bed. Maybe it's because I work late. I didn't sleep very long. Had to get Nando up. Got to get him to school. Do the whole 9 yards. And when I guarantee most people out there don't. This is just a blip in their ear to make the day go by that much faster till they can get back to bed.
Yeah, I definitely didn't want to get out of bed this morning either.
I mean, don't got no choice in the matter.
Yep.
A lot of you guys, because if I've learned, and that was probably like one of the greatest quotes is, be grateful you woke up today, because there's a lot of people who didn't.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
People battling things, people going through all kinds of really hard things in their life, and
because all of these things that maybe these guys did it, you know what I mean? Maybe they were battling something that a lot of us can't deal with, you know.
I have a hard time rapping.
And he says lizard people are real. I wonder how long ago that was. That's another one, dude.
Well, if we're
talking about theories,
I have worked on construction sites that have said both people. Now I'm hearing Joe Biden is the lizard people, but for 8 years in a row, Trump was the lizard. And they had...
I never heard that Trump was a lizard one. That's weird. That one never popped up on my feed.
All the time. The same thing with Obama is actually gay, and he has a lover.
And Michelle is a man
named Mike. That just goes on and on and on. And like, people lie all the time. I mean, it's a whole market of just lying.
Dude, look at mainstream media.
And if you're somebody who has ever studied history at all, and you look at propaganda,
dude,
worked pretty good for them Nazis.
Dude, and it worked. No, it worked good. I remember it was before I listened to Joe Rogan's podcast during COVID when he got hit with taking horse dewormer. That's what I heard. I heard that Joe Rogan was taking horse dewormer.
Oh, yeah.
But in reality, the drug that he was taking, ivermectin, I think is what it's called. I could be wrong. Yeah.
Yep. Steroid.
And it won a fucking grand prize or whatever, Nobel Peace Prize for human use.
I think did you just to combine two things there, DJ? Is it the Nobel Peace Prize?
The Nobel. It's some Nobel Prize for science. Whatever it is. It's probably not peace, you're right. It's a Nobel
I'm just trying to because for some reason I don't know. You've said two different things, and now I want to know.
We'll find out what the correct term is. It won a.
Is it Nobel Prize? It's just Nobel Prize.
Nobel Prizes. There's more. Okay, anyways, it won one of the Nobel
he's got to get that last job, and he's just like, he didn't pluralize it.
But essentially, it's used for human consumption. But every media... No,
I just want to clip that just by itself.
It's used for human
human consumption.
That would be pretty good. Thanks, Bin Laden, right afterwards.
It's made for human consumption. But you could advertise any food right in front of that.
Bananas, it's made for human consumption.
Wendy's, it's made for human consumption. Subway, eat fresh because it's made for human consumption.
That's funny.
That's your tagline afterwards. Made for human consumption. May cause
check
internal bleeding.
It's made for human consumption. It may cause internal hemorrhaging.
Most of the fake food out there in the world, it's made for human consumption. Is it healthy? No. But
we just told you it was made for human consumption.
Literally, nothing else will eat it, but for some reason, you humans will.
Is it good for me? It's made for human consumption. Will it make me sick? It's made for human consumption.
I'm the same boat though, because when it comes to like the things that they've said is terrible, like the red dyes, and like I feel like they're trying to strip me away of my deliciousness.
Did you hear the food pyramid that we learned growing up is complete bullshit?
Yeah. And that's where I'm like, all these values that we kind of grew up on are just getting stripped away and attacked.
And I think that's why a lot of people would rather just listen to the media and believe that, because they don't want to believe that our entire foundation of education is bullshit. And I get that. It's a lot to, if you think back and you're like, oh wow, all 18 or whatever, 15, 16 years of school was complete bullshit. It would be a lot for someone to take that in. So I get it. I get why people just want to be blind and don't think that the government would ever do something like this to us.
Elon, these guys who are autodidacts and they're self-taught. I mean, most of the things that they're taught are not in our history books.
And look where he's at compared to where the people that get fed through the school system so that they can go do a 9-to-5 job and be a slave to the government.
We grew up thinking that Christopher Columbus was a dope dude.
Yeah. No, guess what?
We were singing songs about Christopher Columbus sailing the ocean blue.
And now we find out he was a fucking murderer.
Off.
Those are all proven. God, I got to keep an eye on that. Because I don't know what he's talking about. They're all proven. A lot of, dude. It's tough. It's tough out there. Because
and I'm one of these guys like
with the whole Twitter thing, dude. Elon Musk, if he wouldn't have bought Twitter, we would not have 100% confirmation that the government was taking down, saying it was misinformation about COVID. That was not misinformation. He legit.
Yeah,
verified that. The Twitter
down that road of Dr. Fauci, and then we never would have seen the information where Fauci was, like a mad scientist in his own right.
Yeah, dude. There's also a video.
And will Fauci ever be brought up on criminal charges?
Nope. Want to know why? Because they're going to go after Diddy. They'll get Diddy for this so that everyone forgets about Fauci, and so that's what happened. Epstein happened. One was like, then COVID happened, and now they're doing this.
It was like V for Vendetta. You just had like all these people that you're literally, and then you look at like Vietnam. We still never really got down to the bottom of what they were testing our own soldiers with back then.
Oh man!
Or like you were literally testing groups, just hitting them with a bunch of acid, trying to see if they could tell us the truth. Can you imagine if you were had never done acid before, and then you're just sitting in a white room, and then you start tripping
it to you? Yeah, dude.
Get out of that white room.
Yeah,
that would be absolutely terrifying.
Some MK Ultra shit right there. That's dude. Yeah.
And then you got another project that doesn't make any sense. MK Ultra, and like what was happening back in like the Cold War? That guys were like, you know what? We're gonna need some sleeper cells.
Right?
We gotta activate some guys in like 30 years when things get a little haywire. Bananas. Time to kill.
Yeah, unfortunately, we made the term "go get your Crocs." Didn't realize they were gonna make a shoe.
Go get your Crocs.
told my dad to go get his Crocs. Next thing, he comes out the door with an AK-47, starts blasting.
The Manchurian Candidate? That's literally that movie. You have.
I've seen a couple movies like that.
The supposed guy who killed.
Or what's the one?
Robert Kennedy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What was his name? Sirhan? Is that it?
There's also that movie with Jesse Weisenberg where he gets activated, and then his girlfriend's actually his handler and has been the handler the whole time. 100%. He just starts wrecking people, dude. That's actually a really fun movie. He has not been in enough movies. It's been honestly since we've seen good old Jesse. I think it was Jesse Eisenberg. Jesse Eisenberg, I think that's right. Yeah. Yeah. Now, do you think not to be confused with Jesse from Breaking Bad? Do you think it's like Shia LaBeouf? Because he kind of went off the rails for a while. If you're in that industry and you see that type of stuff and you can't say anything about it, otherwise you will be the next one to be Avicii'd. Could you imagine why these people are now going crazy? Another what if? I would. But do the history dive even into Shia? Drug abuse. And
a lot of these guys come from fucked up home lives.
Well, dude, anybody who gets introduced into fame at a young age you're lucky to get out of that shit alive.
Yeah, 100%. Avicii was like millions of fans being an 18-year-old. Bieber.
Same thing, dude.
Nipsey wasn't old. Like, how do you go from having nobody give a shit who the hell you are
to the entire world?
The whole world.
Yeah. That's nuts. Man, and did you know Justin Bieber's parents gave custody to Usher, and then Usher gave temporary custody to Justin Bieber to Diddy for 48 hours?
Whoa.
Yeah.
And there's papers?
I mean, yet again, this is my Facebook showing me, so it's probably bullshit, but that's
Usher was... I have seen it with my own eyes. He had that. Him being a kid going to Diddy parties, and they were wild back then.
Diddy couldn't get to Bieber, so Diddy sent out little Usher. No, Diddy tried. Diddy tried to. I think that yet again. I don't think Usher, it's all what ifs.
Usher said he never tried to do anything to him.
Well, probably not like that, but he was the one who. Say
this is the same time because there's been so many parties, so many different things. So everybody's trying to make their money right now. You know what I mean?
Everybody's
going to drag everybody through
or trying to cover their ass by saying, no, I didn't do that. That was Diddy because he's caught.
That's
right. And then Diddy's
oh. Well, if you're Diddy at this point, you're just bending over with the KY. You're like, come in, boys. You guys are... Did you see what happened to his place?
With the raid?
Oh yeah, and then afterwards they tagged up every single inch of his entire mansion. They spray painted.
Oh yes, I did. Yeah, dude.
Every little
that
inch
looks
of it. They
so
turned that place
good.
into a skate park.
It looks dope, bro. It looks like an apocalyptic.
Helicopters circling that place, trying to, security trying to scare people off, and they just raided that thing.
Dude. That's nuts.
But when the underbelly, the boys who don't want to get seen, the graffiti artists, when them boys are starting to say there's an issue, the boys you better start paying attention to.
Dude, the country is in a crazy place right now, dude.
Obviously, it's street rules. Obviously, you don't say nothing, but if I can say something without saying nothing.
Yeah, dude.
And that's
been a good corner. This has been a good corner we've been into today. I like this. Is my kind of thing.
In here, I thought you were into the closet.
Do a little silent film laugh.
There we go. I don't want to bust out the anime.
Yeah, no, that's too much. Just the silent film, the Charlie Chaplin laugh.
How posh.
How posh.
But if we're going to get back into the whole suicide things, the part that I really have a hard time wrapping my head around is the broken wine bottle cut.
Well, now, dude, so my brain...
So where did he
get this. My brain's been going crazy on that. Because ever since I said it was the only one that was not in the United States. So he's getting protected by the royal family. That's why it's a broken wine bottle. Because whoever got into that room did not have a weapon because they were with the royal family. They can't get caught with a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to break a wine bottle and use the glass of the wine bottle.
Oh, yeah. And then who got hired to be inside that room to... Or was it
and TMZ? Why did TMZ report the cause of death?
How did they get the inside scoop?
Who the fuck called TMZ and was like, did you know Avicii was actually, he did it himself with a wine bottle?
And then why would you go to the biggest tabloid magazine?
Exactly.
That's like going to Insider.
Well, yeah, TMZ had no fucking, unless they reported it after they heard it somewhere else. But the online, it made it sound like they were the ones who broke the news.
And even in that, maybe Google is giving you actually a little hookup by telling you, maybe you should dive a little deeper into this because this doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Yeah. Because even when you just read it out, like
as soon as I read it, it's made it sounded dumb.
Like you're like years of depression. Like all these guys are apparently just years of depression, sad, and just abusing drugs and alcohol forever until
one day they snap.
And if you're okay, maybe these guys are really good at tying nooses. But I have a hard time believing that somebody who is drunk and on pills has the ability to tie a really good noose.
Right. Well, that, and then
if you're on heroin, you're going to keep falling asleep. You start tying your knot, and then you're like, and then you wake up, you go back to work on the same knot, and you fall asleep. And then you're just stuck on the same knot forever.
Not even that. You might just fall asleep in the noose because you didn't tie it good enough, and you just wake up. Oh, that didn't work.
I got some good sleep.
Yeah.
Still alive.
But then the Avicii thing blows me away because he was looking for collaborators. What guy who is going through a manic episode is looking for collaborators for his music? I mean, like I said, I am so lucky to not really be affected with too much like mental, I have a pretty strong mental health is how I'll put it.
And you're 100% so I can't surrounded by people that if there was something off, they would know.
So I can't say that I can't believe he would do that while he's looking for artists. You know what I said? It's because I can't say that with confidence because I have never had to deal with anything like that because I'm lucky enough to.
He's also from Sweden. So anybody done a deep dive into Sweden's history?
I don't think Swedish are very depressed, dude. I think the Swedish are very. That's not a Swedish accent. I was trying for it, but yeah. I don't think funny? I
remember growing up in the Swiss accent. I think I seen it on like the Muppets, and they always had it like hordy, forty, jordy, dordy.
Oh yeah,
that was
yodeling. Yodeling.
It was that hordy, forty, jordy, dordy. You're like, really? That's how these people talk over there? We probably go over. They don't sound anything like that.
Yeah, probably 100%.
The things that have been just indoctrinated, kind of like Candace Owen was saying. It's like you grow up believing a certain way. Look at how many people love Cosby until it turns out that Cosby was just.
Well, what if that's another one?
Off with the delicious barbecue sauce. Ever good lot of sleepy on the barbecue sauce.
You eat the barbecue, you get a sleepy.
I'm getting sleepy on my barbecue sauce.
They say the darndest things.
Yeah, he's probably wishing that they wouldn't have said all those darndest things. But he's back out. He's touring. Cosby back doing comedy.
Dang.
So, look out.
Yeah. Go Cosby.
Clip it. Cosby.
Bill Cosby. I'll be his opener. And here he is, Bill Cosby.
I was listening to Legion of Skanks all the time, They were talking about if they're trying to actively get him on Legion of Skanks. Dude. Just give him the mic and just let him either dig his own grave or
It's like a Harlan Williams. I feel like he'd be a Harlan Williams. You give him the mic and just let him go nuts. Did Harlan Williams start his own podcast too? I saw him.
Harlan Highway.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I saw
the Harlan Highway for probably almost a year.
Oh, has he? Okay, because I saw him and what's his name, Pauly Shore. Oh. He's like, "Come on, Pauly, talk like you used to," and then they were like just giving each other so much shit. It looked so fun.
It kind of reminded me of the way me and DJ had our reaction this morning. I was going too hard in the paint, asking the deep questions. It's like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't have time to be speculating on other people's lives this fucking early in the morning. Why don't you shut up?
Why don't you shut up?
And I said, whoa, telling me to shut up. All right, I'll shut up.
All right. Touche. Sometimes I need to shut up. Yeah, so like, I'm glad most of the time you shut me down on the conspiracy corner, but I'm glad you let me have one day where I just get to come in here and just get to go all out. Because good God, man. Like I said, that book last night was nuts. I really want to actually buy the book so I can see all the reference pictures and stuff.
Everybody needs somebody in their life who's going to counter that crazy and be like, hey, stop. Think about the things you're saying for 2 seconds besides just rereading something that you read and being like, I have the truth.
So no, it's not that I believe everything I read, it's that I want to. I'm like,
you're so passionate. That's the thing.
You're like, if that was the story, that would be the craziest shit ever.
Everything links up that way. And it's even crazy because as humans, we naturally look for patterns.
Right.
All the time.
It's so funny though.
It's hardwired into our DNA.
It's so funny though that 5 years ago, shit that would get you called a conspiracy theorist has been proven today.
But then there's
like the Twitter files and stuff like that. Like, yeah, it is. All you got to do.
Truth has been put out there, but there's been just as much bullshit.
I was going to say, all you got to do is just share that one picture of Epstein standing right next to Kamala Harris and just, throw a wrench in the thing.
Why Rick Moranis got punched in the face that day.
Or Chris Rock. Why Chris Rock really got slapped.
Yeah, like... It doesn't make absolutely any sense. That one.
Dude, actually, that was one thing I forgot to put down on our list, but the comparison of the fall of Rome and what's happening to us.
I see it all the damn time. Mm-hmm. I'm like, if you look at Rome, which is hilarious because there's also another meme that no matter what guy you talk to, that any man
is always thinking about the fall of Rome. Yeah. And which is funny because I saw that video and I was like, I have never fucking thought about Rome, but now
I've talked about Rome a million times, but also Nana's godfather, he was a big historian, so he did a ton about it. But if you look at it as a whole, we're doing the same exact thing 100%. That happened right before
the fall of Rome. They distracted the people with all of the stuff at the Colosseum.
Kamala Harris is Cleopatra.
Ooh, deceiving everybody.
Caesar, our great Trump.
Dang, that's legit. Reincarnated, 100%.
If it comes out that Trump becomes president and has Kamala as his vice president,
lizard people.
That can never be a possibility.
Lizard people.
Why would that not be a good scenario for the country to have one? It probably would, one.
But
why do you get a Republican with a
right? Why can't? That's what a community should be. Is everybody mixing together?
The majority voted for a Republican president. That's obviously the popular vote. They are the president.
But bring someone else in.
And then they have to have somebody from the opposite cabinet. Dude, why do you have, obviously everybody's going to go with their team and say exactly what their team is. Yeah. People get swept up all the time. How many people said, fuck Tom Brady?
Well, dude, so that's kind of where I was going with the thing with the fall of Rome. When Rome started to fall, they distracted everybody with Colosseums and all the games in there. What do? We got 16 football teams every year that come on the field, and we all go my team, screw your team.
There's 32 teams in the NFL.
Oh, 16 in my division, or my half. Yeah, 32 teams. That's even worse. So like, and all like, yeah, NFL, NBA. That's our Coliseum.
You're starting to speak my language now.
And then Rome also started. They stopped classifying people by genders, and that's another thing that we're hitting into now with our day and age. Yeah,
who was a football coach. You can totally see how easy it is because it all is the glamour, of the biggest, meanest, strongest.
We're the best, and no one can beat us.
Even though those guys are just puppets being thrown to fight each other and entertain.
Yeah, yeah, just to distract everybody from what's actually happening.
Because if you have a whole world of engineers and plumbers and electricians and gardeners and just traits and nobody actually trying to run anything.
That's why they say they made the school system so that they could train everybody to just be a 9-to-5 slave and be okay with not actually thinking outside the box.
That's America. If we're going to look at America, but you look at the rest of the world, because obviously there's enough people who've gone outside the rest of the world and been like, well, the United States might be this, but it's still a lot better than the rest of the world.
True. But there's a lot more people ditching the education system and homeschooling their kids now because they're catching on to the fact that it hasn't changed in 100 years and it was actually made by one of the big families. And he even said, I want a nation.
Rockefellers.
Well, I think it was Rockefellers, yeah.
And which is wild because if we go full circle with this bad boy, after they get ready, take down the diddler, Batman's coming after his next one.
Right?
And he's coming after
and they're probably the ones getting the money off of the fucking rights to all the music for the fucking other people. You know what I mean? So they're like, I want the rights to his music because it'll make me $1 million a day.
But at the end of the day, I mean, Suge Knight, that was his whole MO. It was just gangster and taking people's, like, controlling
the music industry is the mafia industry nowadays.
It's hard to really say otherwise, unless there's some people out there who can tell me otherwise, because there's just so much of it. Even as far as presidents having their lives almost taken, there's not a whole lot of news every day about it.
Yeah, well, Andrew Jackson was one president that survived an assassination attempt.
But I mean, you look at John F. Kennedy, that was 50 years ago, and it still gets brought up almost every other week.
And dude, they're still debating on if the fucking CIA did that or not. And I strongly believe here's a crazy theory.
I don't understand how there's so many books on it and to not have one concrete answer on it. It's like ghosts. Are they real? Are they not real? Some people say they're real. Some people say they're not real. Religion is a great one also. Some people see the man in the sky. Some people don't see the man in the sky. Some people pray to the 8-armed woman.
I saw a great video that there's a theory that Kennedy did psychedelics a few weeks before he made a speech, and his speech was about how we need to put aside our differences with Russia and work together to save the country and blah blah blah. I think it was like 2 months later he was assassinated.
Do you want your president dropping doses?
Yes. At least once. Not constantly, but 100%. As Joe Rogan said it, he thinks all politicians should go do one trip of ayahuasca so that they can get a better outlook on what's the right thing for humanity, not for their pocket. But
and if you can't handle a bad trip, you don't deserve to be my president.
Yep. But no, so that was the theory, is that he did acid and then kind of was changing his mind on how to run the country, and then they killed him for it because he was going to take an out.
But and then this is the same family who was bootlegging liquor during the Prohibition.
Oh yeah, 100%.
NASCAR and before NASCAR was a thing.
Well, what's weird about the Kennedy, what's RFK Jr.
Mm-hmm.
He has been a lifelong,
and there's no
Democrat, whatever,
like anything about his throat. Is it a disease?
Something happened, I think. But
either way,
he's
that would
switching
be tough.
Sides, dude.
Give me 2 seconds.
Okay, yeah.
It would be so hard to listen to that for 8 years.
I can see why he's not running for president. It would be tough.
Oh man,
that makes sense. But what's weird is that he completely changed side and is now like endorsing Trump, even though he was been a lifelong on the other side of the sticks. He's now kind of doing exactly what they're doing to Trump, but opposite. He's like, anybody but Harris, anybody but my party. That's been his party for his entire life, and he's going against it. That shows you something. If somebody who's been a lifelong fucking, I think it's Democrat, right? I suck at politics. So yeah, a lifelong Democrat, and now he's going Republican because of who they have going to office. That should fucking raise some red flags for you. Just saying.
Make you question something.
Yeah, like why is this guy going against everything he's gone for? He's not young like me. He's 60 years old. He's gone 60 years on a fucking that side, and now he wants to switch. Like, that's fucking scary.
Well, it's also, I mean, he's been brought up in that his entire life.
Yeah, he was raised into politics, yeah. But, like, dude, that scares me. The fact that he's like, I don't want nothing to do with those guys now. I'm like, what the fuck's going on over there? Behind the scenes that he don't want to fucking...
Yeah, I mean, until I honestly start seeing things get closer to home, which is unfortunate. Like, it doesn't affect me.
Well,
and I don't think it really should, like, get everybody stirred up and freaking out, because that anxiety is just as bad as everything.
So it's affecting my dad. My dad's not working right now because they stopped pretty much all the drilling here in the U.S. through political season. Yeah, they're not drilling very much, I don't think. Because then this happens every single 4 years when they're going to figure out who's going to be the next president. Because guess what? The next president is either going to come in and give us the grant to drill a bunch, or fucking take the grant away and we can't do anything. So the companies don't know. They're not going to invest millions of dollars in these in these drills that may or may not be approved.
Wait to see
what happens.
Well, yeah, because they say who wins, and then they just invest that money into those companies that have already backed them since day one.
Well, I'm thinking of like from an oil company perspective. You're like, okay, we can spend $5 million making 5 drills and get them ready to go. But do we want to do that? Because in 6 months, they might tell us we can't drill anything. And we just spent $5 million on drills that can't drill anything now. So we don't want to do that. So they're waiting to see who becomes president before they will even invest in drilling more oil.
And I'm sure the only ones who can actually keep drilling are these giant companies. It doesn't even make a difference whether they stop drilling or not.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine that everywhere is just not drilling. I'm sure we have plenty of guys outside the United
obviously
States
ramps down, right? Like, you're still gonna, if you're a drilling company, you're still gonna be drilling, but it definitely ramps down.
From anywhere else besides the United Emirates nation?
That's Arabs, right? Yeah. Who gives us our oil? Canada,
Mexico, Russia, and OPEC. So that's and then
Saudi Arabia is at the bottom. So we're getting all of it from Canada. See, why are we not, dude? That's one thing I did like about Trump.
But you just go into your own thing right there, and it's like everybody has been up in arms about how much we get from
overseas,
Saudi Arabia,
and it's the lowest.
Yeah, we get the littlest amount. We buy more from Mexico, and you know, if we're buying stuff from Mexico, we're probably buying other stuff from Mexico.
Hey, send us up some fuel.
You know,
some fentafuel.
You just look at all those borders that have access for people to come in. If that's where we're getting most of our stuff is from Canada. And back in, this is early, probably 2009 maybe. But when I was in college, they had a whole talk about like Korean immigrants were coming in and they would just buy up whole neighborhoods. They'd buy up all the shops. They'd move everybody into one house, and then they just slowly start taking over neighborhoods. Damn. And that's from somebody who came from Korea, and their whole purpose is to come in and set up shop. China set up shop.
Well, dude, did you notice that?
But then you obviously can't have it on the back end where people become so nationalist because the people who aren't obviously looking like the true nationalists, they get the other like, no, I'm an American.
Yeah, I'm an American. Please. Well, China's been buying up a bunch of farmland near our major military bases as well.
And it took a long time for people to actually be like,
hey, what's going on?
That's not smart.
Yeah.
Maybe we should stop that. But at the end of the day, people will just sell. And how many people are ever looking into the buyer? Yeah. I mean,
you get an offer for $10 million, $2 million more than you were asking for. You don't give a fuck who that came from,
because it's somebody else's problem now.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That's the really scary part, is when the money is really just the influence at the end of the day.
Behind everything we've talked about today, that is the one thing that has been behind everything, is money. 100%.
Yeah, even the second moon.
Because money. If it showed up and we had 2 weeks to get it,
that asteroid is
2
coming
months. 2 months.
Okay, in 2 months, it's literally coming to Earth to take our money.
Or is it 2 weeks? No, I think we should try to get up there, get it to stay in our orbit longer, mine it for its materials, and use that as our next spaceship. Elon, if you're listening, go mine that asteroid, take the crazy space metal, make your spaceship out of that.
Elon responds,
genius. I like Elon though. He definitely does kind of seem like a robot with how he responds, but he's just taking time to think about his response, which is a really good thing to do, especially when he's interviewing with Joe Rogan. So I get it. I totally understand his.
Well, yeah, like those guys all are in positions they don't get riled up when somebody's like, give me an answer. They just sit there. Jordan Peterson's great at it too. If you can hold people in that state of uncomfortability before one or the other is going to move, and it becomes even the very first things that come out of somebody's mouth becomes a chess game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to draw some information out of you, and then you can.
That sounds like a stressful conversation.
And at the end of the day, when I look at like people glorifying or almost looking like the royal family, it all becomes the same.
The Freemasons,
show and
man.
Pony, dog and pony show at the end of the day. I mean, it's just all you guys trying to come up with different ways to become absolute powerful.
I kind of want to go be a Freemason, dude.
Well, if you look at like the boys down in Atlanta, you were never supposed to even know about the Freemasons. Right. So there's a lot of people and if you're a Freemason talking out of pocket, guess what? You get popped.
You get Avicii'd.
You really want to be part of that? I
shouldn't call it that. Sorry.
You really want those type of people running everything?
Yeah, no. I mean, that probably is who fucking running everything. I'm doing the pee-pee dance, so I think you can hold it for a few seconds by yourself, or should we wrap it up?
No, let's get it.
You got it? Okay.
I got it. I gotta get used to this. I can't be every time I lose my co-host, I can't just fall to pieces. I mean, I've been falling to pieces this morning, even just doing the live. Lost DJ, he's just over there, trying to enjoy his morning, and I'm just pure panic. Please help me. But it's all right. Because at the end of the day, tomorrow's a brand new day. Today still got plenty of day. You're going to get inundated with all the nonsense, or you're going to walk out your front door. You're going to smile a little bit, help a stranger out, do something for somebody that you weren't expecting to do. Wouldn't hurt nothing. And honestly, it would probably help everybody's little mental sanity as we get closer to this election season. Because all it is every day is just the same political bashing of this guy and then bashing this guy, and nobody fact checks anything, and it's just exhausting. And for a Monday, come on now, maybe right before your weekend starts on a Friday, give you a little chatter for the weekend, but ain't nobody need all that first thing Monday morning. So we're going to try to get out of that corner as we get closer to the end of this podcast. Come up with some more cool things that we've been seeing. DJ, you got any little light topic that's kind of funny?
Oh, yeah.
Because we got to get out of this.
I was gonna say, should we do it?
You guys have all, you've heard us. There's a lot of questions that you guys can go and ask.
I was gonna say, if we need to get out of the conspiracy corner, we could go on a shameless, sponsor plug. Depends could be a great one, dude, because I could use a diaper.
You're going for Depends, huh?
I mean, dude, if they will provide us with free diapers and money just for having their logo on our entry screen, I'd pee on the air.
I'm sure
you guys will never know.
Would pay you to listen to you pee on air too. That's the crazy part.
I'm just talking, and I'm just like,
the fucking chair swells. They're made of wood.
Well, if the Depends are good, they won't swell,
and it won't
smell.
I guarantee it's gonna smell.
All of a sudden, you're just like, dude, did you just piss? I can smell it.
A lot of asparagus last night. That stuff sure is delicious, though.
No, it's just dehydration.
I talked down. I don't know if I mentioned this on the last episode, but we should. Uncle Russ is a little elusive, and
I saw
another show up. One of my best friends. She's taken her sweet time on deciding whether or not. But I have another really great friend of mine, and she's multifaceted. We're excited. Hopefully, get her on. End of this week,
okay,
maybe next week, but that's where we're at, and hopefully we can talk her into bringing several of her some of them photos.
We're just gonna do couch style, relaxing.
We are. We're gonna bring him in.
Okay,
we're gonna get him in the chair. We're gonna shoot this thing like Johnny Carson.
Casting couch. Just kidding. If you're watching this, I am just kidding. Please still come on the podcast.
Get a call. And we lost our next guest.
Yeah, she heard fucking Curtis talking on the podcast again. God damn it.
How did your Seahawks do?
We did. We won 3-0. I didn't watch it.
Your Seahawks are 3-0?
3-0.
Yuck.
Yeah, but we played the Dolphins, and the Dolphins unfortunately just lost their
Hawk
quarterback.
Tua?
No, Tagula?
I've been calling him Hawk Tua.
Hawk Tua, all right. I'm actually really bummed because I thought he was going to be a really good quarterback, but it seems like he is one of those that every time he gets hit, he gets a concussion. So I don't think he's going to last very long in the league, unfortunately, which is such a bummer because I loved him. Now that I'm getting older, I'm more about players than a team. I think I was more of a Russell Wilson fan than a Seahawks fan now because I'm sitting here like wondering why he's not playing for the Steelers, and it's due to an injury. But I'm getting really nervous because I think I'm a big Russell Wilson fan. I want to see him do good. He did not do good at the Broncos, and
I can't even remember who's quarterbacking for the Steelers.
Oh, it's Justin Fields. So it was very controversial anyways because they traded for Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, and the big battle was for who was going to start this year, and they said Russell Wilson. But then
How long do you think that takes to build that dynamic around your quarterback when you spent years building that dynamic with another team? I mean, he was with the Seahawks for
a long time. Since pretty much since he was drafted, I think.
Didn't he lose his virginity being on the Seahawks? Wasn't he one of the ones who wanted to stay?
Oh, I think so. I think so. Yeah, until he married, and good God, did he marry good? Maybe that's why I like him so much. But he did. I think that sounds legit. It seems like. Because he kind of seems like that person that might be, religious enough to stay celibate. Good guy, dude.
Chiefs in Atlanta last night.
I was listening to that because Kaylee is a Chiefs fan, so she was watching.
Well, you got Kirk Cousins, our old quarterback, is choking for the Falcons. So I love to see it. Rest in peace, Bonnie out there. But your team sucked last week. Sunday. So
well, see, I'm not even gonna, because Dan's a Dolphins fan, so I'm not even gonna rub it in. It was 3-25 for the Seahawks.
At the end of the day, last time I checked, football fans are probably some of the most ride or die out there. So you got to come hard in the paint.
You're talking about Dan, who's been a Dolphins fan since we were kids, and he's never seen a good Dolphins team until the last couple of years. So I'm excited. I think that's another reason why I love seeing the Dolphins do good, because I'm like Dan and Kelton are going to be happy because the Dolphins are doing good. So it's like, Not right now.
I think they're going to be struggling all year long. Who said? There's another team that just flat out said our team sucks this year. No, we can do better. None of that. It's just like we suck this year.
I mean, since this has been a episode about conspiracy theories, how do you feel about the scripted NFL?
How is it that we got out of the corner? We took a nice out of there. We were streaming out in the field, hanging out, and somehow we're back in the corner.
I just real quick. How do you feel about it? The scripted NFL.
I reposted about that years ago, and I got called retarded for doing so. So I don't think there is, but I think there is, like any major sport, way to corrupt it.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't think they can script it like the way that everyone conspirizes. Like, there's no way they can script every play of the game.
That can be won or lost. Yeah. The gambling aspect of it. Those are the events that can be. Yeah. And last time I checked, the mafia is not gone. They are quiet, but they're never gone. And I think they got their famous in racketeering last time I checked, but I could be wrong.
Mafia just moved to Vegas and became the fucking casino industry.
Literally. Well, you know that they went out in the desert and they opened a casino.
Yeah, that's how fucking Vegas was founded. So you think that it went away because Vegas got popular with tourism.
And where does all the money go? You know what I mean? There's guys who fly to Vegas and dump so much money into that city. And then if you're dumping all that money into the hands of the mafia, I think the mafia still has a pretty good...
The streaming platform Kick, which is supposed to be the replacement of Twitch, is casino funded.
You happy with that?
Because I don't know how I feel about that. Well, I mean,
Kick and Twitch. I don't even think Twitch has even set its hook into anything yet. It's not them.
Oh, dude, no.
Because I looked up the top 10 things searched on Google right now: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You don't even see Twitch.
Twitch has its own. Twitch is definitely you don't have it unless you're a gamer or a streamer. Because I had never had Twitch. My brother used to have Twitch, and I didn't get it till I started streaming.
The numbers comparative to those other platforms, it's like Power World.
But if you're a streamer and you're trying to stream to that platform that has 10,000 people streaming the same game that you're streaming, you're never going to get traction. So that's why that's why Facebook was good, because Facebook was a fairly new streaming platform. So you could easily grow on it. And then, so that's what Kick did. They came in and they're paying people, dude. They're paying people like fat money. Aiden Ross, I think, is like on a $1 million contract to just go live every day.
And how many Aiden Rosses are there?
Right? Yeah. So these guys are just...
But in all honesty, how many Aiden Rosses are there?
Probably... So there's Aiden Ross. There's the other guy who had Kai and all of his boys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Those guys. There's a market for them.
Them boys are even American. They got one guy who's actually from America.
You
guys are from the Haitian.
Oh, okay. But yeah,
Trinidad.
It's all, dude.
But those are the guys who have some of the most major influence in America,
which is fucking disgusting.
That doesn't make really
fucking disgusting. It sucks too.
We don't even have any we don't have founding fathers to really look back on, because we've already torn all them guys down.
Well, yeah. Now we find out that freaking George Washington, our first president, purposely suffocated the Native Americans into thinking they are not that they're not this, and that's all that book. Who knows about that book? Same thing. What if? But they're just throwing him under the bus. Same thing with Billy Carson was throwing Christopher Columbus under the bus, or was it Graham Hancock who told the story? They were in Mexico somewhere, and they knew a blood moon was going to happen, which is when the moon turns red.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, if you don't give us our food, I'll turn the moon red. And then, sure as shit, the moon starts turning red because he knew about the celestial event that was coming. They thought he was a god.
Yeah, you might be right.
And then they gave him all the food, and that tribe probably died that winter because they gave him all of his food. He was a sick person, man. And those are all people we revered. Like you said, we used to sing songs about him.
Educated.
Yeah. Educated enough to know that he could manipulate these people by saying he was a god. I am an almighty god. I will turn the moon red in 3 days.
And that's if we're willing to sit back and believe a story that could be altered since 1692.
He sailed the ocean blue, right? Yeah. So the 1600s. Yet again, dude, all of history, we'll never really know.
Paul Bunyan, Johnny Appleseed.
That's another thing. Paul Bunyan, remember we got told this story about a giant human and a giant ox that just cutting trees down and shit. And then everyone's like, oh, it's bullshit that they found giant skeletons in these mountains and that were sent to the Vatican. The Vatican says no. And yeah, they have fucking stories about all these giants.
I was going to say, and there is
attempted proof.
I was going to say, giants aren't even like, I guess, how do you say, like color? Like, you know, you have giants in every shade of human being. But when you look at actual giants, I mean, they're
like Andre the Giant was a huge ass dude.
And then you look at it like, well, they would have had really short lives because their hearts can't keep up with them. So, I mean, there could have been a chance that, like, yeah, there was giants ruling.
Same with the people say about dwarves, right? Like, the stories came from somewhere. Like, there was
prior little people.
Yeah, dude.
Which, there's another good one. Because we had got into witchers and whether or not they've been real. But the prior little people, same builder, telling me that he has to leave offerings. And these are guys who, you know, they're the farthest from believing the superstition.
Right.
But they're like, no, we went out hunting twice and we didn't leave an offering. And both times I didn't get anything and my tire would blow out or some things were getting stolen. It was just me up there. And you're like, how is this?
Damn, yeah.
There's too many of these stories, but they're not real. But they're legitimately things like this happen, or is it you go
you
and
make it?
Yeah, you manifest it.
Yeah. I mean, that could be all this stuff, right?
I thought I manifested. Like yesterday, we were out to dinner. I thought I see the bud tender that I'm obsessed with / my barista that I was obsessed with. So that I'm like, neither of them are there, but my brain
put them there.
Yeah, wanting to like see them. You know what I mean? I even came back last night and talked to DJ about it. Threw me off.
Dang, the brain is a crazy place, dude.
Oh, and especially in those like fight or flight situations, your brain can create a fear that's not there to actually get you motivated enough to leave.
Dude, for
self-preservation.
For me lately, it's been seeing things out of my peripherals moving. And then I'm like, oh, what was that moving? I was like, oh, there's nothing over here that would be moving. I'm like, what the heck's going on? I was like, all right. It's just really weird.
You got something attached to you.
Yeah,
maybe. Got an attachment.
Maybe.
Sam and Colby.
I did watch some Sam and Colby the other day, and they're doing some rituals, dude.
Is he bringing an attachment into the house?
Dude, she's so funny. She's like, I was gonna watch some Sam and Colby, but better not do that right before bed. And I was like, nice, dude. I love the mental awareness there to not want to have scary dreams. Oh man,
we had to keep talking about just last night going to dinner. You ever go to order something online, and just go pick it up, and then it just refuses to work out? It was...
Your online ordering?
I tried so many times yesterday to the point where I was like, screw it. Let's go inside and eat. I'll go into the restaurant and sit down because of this.
Yeah, I can't remember what, but I had some app that was doing that to me, and I was like, how hard is it to order a goddamn fucking sandwich or whatever it was? Yeah, I was just like, dude.
I was so exhausted. I was like, this just doesn't make any sense. Why is it not doing the thing?
Apparently.
So sometimes you just have to go to the place that you were trying to get out of so much.
Apparently in Texas, they don't even show menus anymore. You have to scan a QR code.
Yeah. You have those like at the big amusement places as well.
My dad fucking hates it. He said the bartender wouldn't even talk to him. My dad's like, I just want a beer. He's like, yeah, you got to do the code. and then turned around just like the bartender wasn't even acknowledging him, and he was just like supposed to scan a code. And this is in Texas.
Oh, in Texas.
In Texas, yeah. And I think it was at the airport, so therefore it's even like you're even kind of asking for it too, because everyone that works at the airport, I'm sure, is tired of people. But yeah, so it's like my dad absolutely hates that. He's like, if you can't get me a fucking paper menu, I'm not eating at your fucking restaurant, or I'm not ordering anything here.
That's the luxury about it. Is America is like, yeah, you can just go to a different place.
Mm-hmm.
Let's at least have that stay the same. You know what I mean? Because it's cool if something pisses you off. Just don't
fucking go there. That's another thing that blows my mind, when people will bitch about something and then not ever. They'll still do it. They'll still go there to like
the human beings who go to the same job for 50 years and then get off of work every day and complain about it.
Yeah. Hey, I was about to be one of those guys if I wouldn't have got out of the service industry. If I would have stayed there.
I've worked with countless human beings over the years in all different industries, and you have people who think that if I leave this job, my whole life will be over. Yeah. Like, how do you get like so attached to that identity that, you know what? If the Family Dollar don't got me, the Family Dollar shuts down tomorrow. Me and my $11 an hour.
Dude, that's probably due to the brainwashing of the school system that we were taught that if you do lose that job, you're gone. You're done.
Grow up, go to college, learn something, get a good job. Brought up from the beginning. Mm-hmm. I mean, is there kids getting brought up that's a whole different?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to teach my kids that. Like when the other day when Logan came and worked and he was scraping the house, you gave him $5. Mm-hmm. That was the best thing for him, because we went and bought 2 Hot Wheels car, and the next day he's like, I want to go to work. So it was a good, I want to teach my kids that.
Then you're like, oh man, did I just inundate him to chase money? Or is it, should I be the creative reward and come up with, because I mean,
the reward for the work kind of thing.
I'm 11 years in this parenting game, and it wasn't until like year 7 where they're like, you shouldn't be rewarding your child for good behavior. That's just them.
They should
building up that dopamine system that they want that reassurance all the time instead of being self-reassured.
Yep. And that's another thing I heard is someone stop saying I'm proud of you and say you should be proud of yourself. So, and that's what I've been doing a lot. I said I do still say that I am proud, but I also tell them, and you should be proud of yourself as well.
Seriously.
And I'm like, it's so crazy, someone can say one simple line like that and you're just like, holy shit. It kind of really makes you think about how you're raising your kids in general.
Yeah, especially since none of this was back in the 90s.
Yeah, it's completely new. We can't ask our parents how to deal with this because they didn't deal with it. They have no idea.
And I had the longest conversation about that. Like, because it's a luxury to be able to sit back in your life a little bit and reflect. There's so many people who are still in the state of survival.
That they can't.
Fuck your feelings.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, everyone's going through something. Do you see the one video? The one guy's walking by. He's like, God doesn't even acts like we're not recording here. He's like, it's not intentional. You know, most people are just stuck in their own world and they can't really see what's going on around them, and just like profound shit. And I was like, damn. Kid. Yeah.
Good kid. There's a lot of that going on. But the sad part is, like, you see how depressed they already are.
And I'm hoping that the world is opening up to like realizing that we're being manipulated as bad as we are.
Because I went hard in the paint at that dinner talking with my friend. I mean, I was like, are you not in the same regard setting these kids up just to get obliterated by teaching them the way that you're teaching them? If you want somebody to be able to be set up to protect themselves, then yeah, they should be all warriors.
And that's,
But then you introduce that level of violence, and then you're like, what happens to the person that's like, I have this level of violence, I hope I never have to use it, but gotta use it. Well, you wouldn't have it if you never taught it in the first place.
Yeah, God,
and that's always, it's like a fear response.
It's a double-edged sword, for sure.
How do you, because there's so many wolves outside the doors who can't wait to get and eat you pieces. Are you gonna be able to go, well, Okay.
You gotta teach him. You gotta teach him to be the wolf and the sheep. Not a sheep. I mean, the wolf and the shepherd at the same time.
Yeah, there's a better word.
Yeah. Damn. And there's got to be a fine line between. Yeah, because you take one step too far over in each direction, and it could go south.
Yeah, then you're an abusive parent.
Yeah,
or you're too soft of a parent.
Oh man, my brother told me. My brother told me the day Izzy was throwing a fit, and he's like, "I think you need to lay down the law." I was like, "What do you mean?" And he's just like, and I'm like, "Oh," I was like, I used to with Izzy be a little bit more stern, and I felt bad, but I mean, he might be right, man. She was doing, and she knows. I think it was the day with the ice cream where I took her to go get ice cream, and then we get home and she throws a fit and was all pissed because it wasn't a blizzard.
I think there was something in the air because there was a lot of kids affected that same thing that week that was happening. It was just that week for testing limits or something.
I don't know. Izzy always does that. If she doesn't get what she wants, she gets all bent out of shape.
That could be a woman thing.
It is. It's her mom.
How many women have you ever dealt with that if you told them opposite of what they wanted to hear, that they're just super happy and accepting of it? I haven't felt
that's definitely one of those moments where I'm like, you're acting like your mother. Just kidding. Just kidding.
You would hope that it would have the effect that you want it to have.
It has that effect on my mom when you tell her she's being Loretta.
That's a shots fired though. Yeah. That's almost a borderline lie. Like, you know what I mean? Your mom, she's seen her turn into
she's slowly getting there. Not quite as bad as Loretta, obviously, because it's still my mom and she's a wonderful human being. But she's even called herself on it. She's like, sorry, it's acting like my mom. She won't be as grumpy, but she gonna be pretty close to a Loretta when she gets old. But it's okay. She gonna be live with me in my house. I told her I would do that.
Hopefully she remembers to shave her chin. I don't know how old you get where you just decide I'm not trying to shave these hair off my faces anymore, but it's not hard. You're like 8 hairs, pull them out by hand if you have to.
I even shaved up today. Even straight razored it.
I hit the straight razor every once in a while.
I usually just electric razor it all off.
So easy to hit with the electric.
Yeah.
I heard it was better to do the electric anyways. When you are trying it down to nothing, apparently it's not good for the hairs.
That's not. So which is weird because growing up, that's what I was always told. You have to shave it down completely so that it will come back thicker. Every time you shave it completely, it comes back.
Because
same with our fucking food pyramid. Oh yeah, we're not supposed to eat a shitload of bread all day. Oh yeah, it makes everybody obese. Oh yeah.
Why make it so damn delicious then? You answer me that. Why?
Cinnamon buns.
Oh man, I could just. I'm getting fucking hungry. Let's wrap this thing up.
We're about there. Yeah, we're I think probably the longest one we've had yet.
Yeah, who knows? We'll figure it out.
We will have episode 5 will be on Spotify here in a few hours.
So we got 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, all the way 1 through 4 up. 5 will be there in an hour, and then we'll slowly keep catching up the next couple days.
The hashtag is
#MWTBPOD. Morning with the boys.
Find us on Spotify.
That's for YouTube.
Yeah.
Spotify, you got to look us up. Morning with the boys. Exactly how it's spelled. Capitals and all.
And then let us know if you guys hate the name, because we can always change the name of this thing. It's not too early.
Yeah, it's finding something that's easily searched. I like, even if we did Morning with the boys, spelt correctly, capitalized correctly, it would be easier for people to find.
There's a good chance we get hit with copyright at that point, unless we can find something.
It's because,
I was just going. Because the Ebonics route.
Because you're thinking,
you can't copyright me if it's not spelled the way you guys say you want.
But we've looked into it, and I don't think we found anybody that is Morning with the boys, right? We found some guy who was doing morning coffee with the boys, and some other guy was doing, I don't think it's anyone's podcast name.
Yeah, some guy was like morning heroin with the men.
Yeah. Some was morning blowjobs with the Clintons, you know.
There's all sorts of ones out there, but I ain't seen any Mornin Wit Tha BoYz.
Yeah, so maybe if we just do that, correct the spelling 100%, and
we're still working things out. Once we hit those Joe Rogan numbers, 2,000 episodes in, hopefully.
I don't want to go back and fix all of the spelling corrections because I still can't even get this damn logo that's right here fixed. I've been trying for 3 days. This one says Mornin Wit Tha
editors out there. Help us out.
I'm so
might reach
close,
out to my school community.
Your brother did one for me, which looks better. It would be definitely would work for a sticker. But I'm trying to get one that has that nice curve. And I was so close the other day, and then my computer shut down again.
And my brother said, "Don't ever ask me to help."
Dude, no, you again. No, your brother was like, I was like, "Hey, you got any tricks to doing a curved line?" He sends me back a video on YouTube and he goes, "It looks like it's a huge pain in the ass." And I'm like, "Yeah, I tried last night before I messaged you." And it's like, "I got it this far, but I can't get it perfect." And he's like, "Yeah, it looks like it's a bitch." And he goes, "Everything in GIMP is a bitch." So your brother had me download a terrible fake Photoshop. And then 2 years later tells me, "Oh yeah, it's terrible." God damn it, Moogle! What are you doing?
Did he give you a one that was better now?
He sent me one that was better. It would work for a sticker because it's actually spelled correctly.
No, I just meant as far as, because obviously if he doesn't like GIMP, and my brother's still in it. No, he doesn't?
No, he didn't suggest anything better, but anything better you'll have to pay for, I'm sure.
GIMP
is free, and I can work it enough. I'm right there. I'm real close to having that. I was going to say,
last time I checked, you got to pay money to make money. It always takes.
Yeah. Well, even Wondershare's trying to charge my freaking card another $40. I got to email them and be like, "Yo, we just fucking paid for our yearly plan. Stop trying to fucking charge me for another one."
Jesus.
Yeah. It's fucking stupid.
So, City Brew, we need you. Sponsor. We need coffee. I forgot to put my... I don't even know how I'm going to do that. Because I go through the line... I have to pull up my QR code while being live. Should I hand them the QR code and be live? And then they're like this.
Get them so good. Up the nose and everything. Trying to scan the code.
Dude.
Yeah. But yeah, City Brew, definitely. Hit us up or we'll hit you up. Depends. Adult diapers, if y'all want to sponsor us too.
Hold on with the...
Yeah.
All right.
Much love, guys. We will be back tomorrow.
Yeah, we are back in the tomorrow. So, until then.
Bye.